But with addiction, to me, it's kind of a tricky thing because you are the problem, but you are also the solution. Like, nobody knows you better than you know you. Nobody has experienced or looked at something the same way you have. And during addiction, it's a dangerous place. You know, it's a dangerous game. But what people don't realize, in that moment, they are convinced that that is what they are.
All right, guys, another episode of Convos with Bishop. My name is Bishop, and I have a very special artistic guest in the building. How are you?
I'm great, thank you.
Miss Jodeci Bird is in the building.
Thank you.
How's everything?
Great.
Great to meet you.
Great to meet you too.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you for having me.
No, absolutely. So I always like to ask this, from a scale to 1 to 10, you cannot use 7. How are you feeling right now?
I can't use 7?
Nope. Because you know why?
Why?
Because everybody actually defaults to the number 7 because it's actually the safest number out of it all. It's not too hot, it's not too cold, it's not too much, it's not too little.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't even use that number. Definitely 10.
10.
Definitely.
Okay, 10. Definitely 10. Okay, cool. So if you can give us a little background of yourself, you know, we'll get started.
Okay. Well, I'm a 27-year-old artist. In every art form, you know, whether it be art, painting, music, but mostly music, you know, the writing, the composition, the video, the creation process, all of that is like my element, that is my therapist. Like, my therapist is my pen and paper, and that's how I work all my stuff out in here. It goes all out in here, therefore it goes all out, and for the rest of the world to hear.
So you've obviously been in this world for a little bit, being 27, right?
Yes.
So, I mean, have you been an artist for all your life?
Yes. Okay. I mean, well, who isn't really?
That's actually very, very true, because somebody does have some type of artistic level to them.
Yes.
Whether it's painting, drawing, singing, writing, whatever it is.
Yeah, and if you really think about it, like, everybody has to dress themselves in the day. That takes a little bit of creation. Like, what am I gonna wear during the day? So it's like, to what degree, you know, do they want to dive into their creative brain? So everybody's an artist to some degree. But with my art, I was born and bred into it. My grandfather, he is in the Hall of Fame in South Dakota for music.
Oh, nice.
In the 1950s, yeah. And then my grandmother, she's an artist, a painter, who's also in the Hall of Fame for painting. And so growing up around it, and my family, they are still super culturally involved, and being Native American, so they're super culturally involved in music and the looks, you know, the regalia, like everything, going to the powwows and all the ceremonies and everything, and they're very skilled dancers, in the Native American community.
What tribe?
I'm Mandan, Hidatsa, Arikara.
I've never heard that before. Okay. I've heard one of my exes was Blackfoot Cherokee. That's interesting. Okay.
Yes, because it's from North Dakota.
Oh, okay.
Yes, you know, so a lot of people, it's a smaller tribe, and so when I coming out, it's not a bigger populated tribe, but North Dakota, that is where my tribe is. That's where the blood comes from. Yeah.
So, how long have you actually been in music?
For as long as I can remember.
Okay.
Because my grandfather and my grandmother, like, they were touring. So growing up, we were touring. I was along with them touring. My whole family, it was like a family group, you know. Even my grandma, as an artist, she'd be playing the keyboard for my grandpa. My grandfather would be helping her out with her art shows. And then my grandfather at some point got me and all my cousins together and created a like a Jackson 5.
Jackson 5, okay,
yes,
that's dope.
So when I was younger and I went into that, he trained us into that. And I was the lead singer. My cousin, you know, we had the lead guitar, bass player, the drummer, and my other cousins were also lead singers. And so that's something like I've always learned from my grandfather was like I take my instrument with me.
Gotcha.
You know, my cousins, they have to take their guitars in cases, so he would always tell me,
your voice.
Yeah, you have no reason to never practice because your instrument is always with you.
So question. So having your voice being like your first and only instrument that you can carry around, But did you actually invest into other instruments as well?
Yes.
Yeah, talk to me about that.
Okay, because of my grandfather, again, when I would be babysat by them, it's just because it's in his DNA, in their DNA. He taught me how to play the piano.
Okay.
Not by reading the lyrics, but by ear.
Got you.
Yeah, and so even when it comes to that, I know the keys, but I can play it by ear. Like I cannot read a lyric, I cannot read the lyrics, but I know the minor, I know the scales. Just by ear. Learning to play the piano, yes,
Okay.
I would say so, because even learning the basics, just the basic chords, you can create any vocal arrangement from there forward, on your own, to where you can experiment with that. So I would say, because then you can even test your own vocal range, and then the scales, so you can also practice them and find your weak link wherever the voice is starting to crack.
Yeah.
Keep practicing that one, like any basketball player, any like shooting a free throw, they're missing a free throw, then they have to capitalize on that. And so if you're missing a chord, or it gets a little flimsy, it gets a little it gets a little airy, then you zero in on that chord to keep practicing around that range, just to balance out the strength of the entire range.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah.
With your music that you have right now, right? I know that you've also, the conversation we had prior, there's been a lot of trials and tribulations that you've been through, right?
Yes.
One, it being addiction. Now, here's the thing. Before we get into the addiction part, I've always said that your pain can be your power.
Yes.
So have you used your pain as power for your artistry in music?
Yes, because definitely learning to work with the negatives and make for a better picture. Because again, like I said before, is my therapist. Like my power is in the pen. It's on the paper. Because whatever is going on in here and I can't figure it out, like whatever the kinks are, take it to the pen and the paper, and it'll all hammer itself out if I get those feelings out on paper. So that will take precedence over, it's just an outlet. And I'm not saying everybody in music, they have an exact outlet or in a craft, but once they find theirs, they need to use that to the best of their ability. I mean, not even in art, but whatever they choose to do, whatever their craft is, whether it be like architecture, fashion, art, or they want to be the best janitor in the world, then they be the best janitor in the world. They perfect their craft.
What type of addiction was it for you?
Alcohol. Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Alcohol. Yes.
Okay.
It was it's addiction to me is a tricky thing, because it is not, you are convinced, depending on how far you go, anything in excess is too much. It's gonna be degressive. Anything in excess.
You can even die from drinking too much water.
Exactly. So you gotta tread lightly with certain things and always keep a balance. But with addiction, to me, it's kind of a tricky thing, because you are the problem, but you are also the solution. Like nobody knows you better than you know you. Nobody has experienced or looked at something the same way you have. And during addiction, it's a dangerous place. It's a dangerous game. But what people don't realize, in that moment, they are convinced that is what they are. And my point, and I was convinced myself, but you are not your circumstance. And addiction, drinking, drugs, food, sex, this or that, it is not who you are, it is what you are doing.
Okay.
It is just what you are doing. It does not define you as a person. It is just something you're doing that maybe it's a bad habit, and if it's such a problem for you, you are also the solution. So in order for you to figure your way out of that, nobody can answer. Nobody can bring you a book about, your past, your life, your this, your that, in order to get you out. It's something you have to, it's a battle, it's a self-battle that only you can fight, because only you know. You can have guidance from the outside, all this support, but that's not gonna fix what's in. You are
the ruler of your land, and also too, I don't know if you believe in God or not, but that also can also help you out as well too. But then also, how long was the addiction for you? And when did you actually find out that you had an addiction problem? What was that moment?
Well, okay, so growing up, I started at like first when I first started, I was about 14, and I felt when I first drank, I felt like I invented fire. Like it was brand new because it was like all these feelings, you know, as a 14-year-old, like you have, you're going through puberty, you know, you have all these things. Yeah, I thought I invented fire because all of those feelings right in that moment of like all puberty and all that emotional, you know, girly stuff. I tried drinking, and all of that went away. And so for my first time in my life, I had like thought that I had found like the answer to life. Like, oh, I can go through this and have this next to me, and you know, I can just glide through life like nothing. And so it was like that for a while until, you know, it was even in my family, I became out of control, you know, unmanageable, and was kind of I tread a troubled track.
Okay.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that.
I tread because everywhere I go, everywhere I went, I was chaos. I was chaos within myself. I didn't know myself, so it was impossible for the people around me to get to know me, to be around me, and it being honest, you know, like me being present here physically, but me being present and understanding. You know, there was no clarity, and with that, it took a lot of, you know, like when I had the realization, it was a lot of years. A lot of years I put into time and energy into drinking. And being Native American,
How many years?
Well, it started at 14, and completely I took one swing at taking it seriously when I was 22.
Got it.
Yeah, so 5 years ago, took it seriously, and I was staying sober, and everything was good, everything was my way, and then I drank a little bit, and I was like, oh, I can drink in moderation.
Do you believe that every single addict always has a relapse?
Now, it might be controversial.
Okay, let's do it.
But I'm just gonna be real.
Please. This is why we're on Calvin's a Bishop. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Okay, Bishop. Well, okay. If you really must know,
I must know.
So, if every addict if they can relapse, every addict, and I'm speaking to myself and to every addict, if you choose, because there's a lot of decisions that can lead up to that. But if you are maintaining your choices to lead up to a relapse or counteracting them along the way, then there won't be one. And a simple mental switch for me was because of being in treatment, and I'm not saying that they brainwash you, but they have their formula and their ways, and not everybody's the same. It doesn't work for everybody. And so you have to like take what resonates with you, and you use that. And because again, nobody is you. Nobody has gone through your experience. Nobody has. There's only one you. You know, and so they can guide you, but even in certain things, and I'm not disagreeing with treatment or their formulas, but something that I did is instead of running from fear, or instead of running from alcohol, because being in the music industry and the world, like you cannot come out as an addict and expect the world to work around you. You need to work around it. So I mean, one of the formulas that people tend to use, and I've had my fair share of treatment, so I've met a lot of great. Don't get me wrong, all the walks of life, all the things, learned a lot of great off of these people's stories. But one thing is, when I'm telling somebody a story, like in treatment, or I'm telling anybody a story, and I say, okay, this is what happened, like I drank, and then this, and this, and this, and then I ended up in the hospital, then I ended up in here, then I ended up in this random state, I took a plane, I ended up in this state, and I woke up in a hotel, I didn't know where the hell I was, and they will say, oh no, poor thing, and I'm like, did you not just hear about all the decisions I made to get myself there?
And the pity party is just not necessarily helping at all. Yeah, I got you.
And at first when I was going to treatment, I'd be like, oh yeah, you're right, like, oh, poor me. But no, at some point there's accountability of like, if I'm gonna blame myself for all the shit that I've done, like I also have to blame myself correctly and all the bad shit and the good shit too. Like anybody should be doing that.
That's a fact.
Yeah, so instead of sitting there, oh, I did this, accept it, embrace it, learn from it, and that's it. But do not poor baby me when I clearly made these decisions that ended me up in a jail or in a hospital or in a random state or in the hanging out with the wrong people, and it all going down this way. And people always use it as like a scapegoat, in my opinion. You know, not to step on anybody's toes, but
it's all good.
In my opinion, or if I have to stomp on them, then I guess.
But let's talk about your single Heatwave.
Yes.
So where was the inspiration behind that?
Well, the inspiration behind Heatwave was obviously the summer.
Okay, yeah, duh.
Because there was a heat wave.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and
a couple.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Maybe I should have put that in the lyrics.
Yeah, it's all good, it's all good.
I should have talked to you first before I started writing. But Heatwave, the inspiration behind Heatwave was the weather, you know, and at the same time I'm just now getting to a point in my career of actually traveling to these cities, you know, and taking music to other places. And so it was really like anytime, any place, you know, wherever the heart is, I have the heart, that's where the home is. So wherever I'm at is where I'm home. As long as my heart's beating, I'm home. Yeah. And so with Heatwave, it was, you know, obviously the weather, it was a summer song, you know, it was like something for somebody to bop to. And it was obviously, or not obviously, but it was also a combination between my head producer and I of like what we can do, you know, and quick. Because like with precision, like given the time, because we have like this vault of songs, like got like 50 plus songs in there. Yeah. But because of like, we're like, okay, it's time to release something. You know, we've been working on this for months, like this whole vault for months, but it's like everything we have, let's make the first one, you know, more, because there's a lot of content with a lot of substance and a lot of intimacy in my lyrics to come. Yeah. But it was like, let's make a summer song, you know, a poppy song that people can bop to right in summer. Yeah. You know, so even though it was dropped on the 14th, and it was like just making it barely by summer, but that's what the song Heatwave is about. Is just, you know, the heat wave and things,
everything
the
that comes with it.
Yes, and then, you know, also a heat wave that can happen in between two people. Yes.
Okay. So it has like a double entendre meaning as far as like with the heat, but also like the heat that you actually get with two people whenever you get to know them and maybe progress. You know what I'm saying?
And the climate change in between the energy. You know, climate change can be a heat wave of like, it's getting hot.
So, how do you know when you have the right musical partner when you make a single? Like what are like, you know, the signs of like, okay, you know what, I should really partner with this person or I shouldn't?
I'm glad you're actually the first person to ask me that question, which is I like it. Well, what I do is I call it kind of producer hunting. Okay. And the thing is, I always have a track ready, you know, with a beat I already own. And I will call and I ask them, you know, do you understand music theory? Do you understand scales? Do you understand this? Like, what is your majority of genre people you've been working with right now? You know, genre music or this or that. And how I check it out is because it's one thing, the credentials to me and any production, any producer or anybody that I work with, videographers, whoever, I do not need to see their credentials because it doesn't mean that they are where they're at today. Okay. Their credentials, not only that, but in the music industry, you know, there's a little things that they could.
No, there's a lot of gatekeeping. There's a lot of the cutthroat people where it's like you gotta have certain criteria with it. You know what I'm saying?
But also being in the music industry, I know that somebody can just be around
at the right time.
Yes.
At the right time.
That's so they have that credential there, but it doesn't mean they actually took, you know, creative process.
Okay. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. It's been dope. It's actually been like really informative as well. And I appreciate your time. Where can people find you on your Instagrams, your social media platforms and everything? And we're gonna wrap up.
Okay, well you can find me on Instagram at I am Jodeci Bird. You can find me on YouTube at official Jodeci Bird. You can find me right here at this place if you were here now. You can find me on Spotify. And you can find me on Facebook, Jodeci Bird. And you can find me on copy link to come soon. Thanks to Bishop. Thanks, Bishop.
We working on the social media, you know what I'm saying, so she can be more effective, you know what I'm saying?
I know, and I know you guys. I know that my social media is one of my weaker suits.
We can talk about that. We can definitely help you out with that.
Yeah,
I got you.
because thank you, thank you. I appreciate that.
We'll talk.
Yeah, but I get a lot of complaints from the people about like, can you post more? What's going on with this? And I'm like, oh, I know, I need to get back.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. Definitely. So Ms. Jodeci, I really appreciate you.
Yes.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And it's not gonna be the last one. We'll definitely talk again.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, guys. Appreciate y'all. Only the best.
Yeah.